Well, I've been here for 2 months now, and it's been a lot that I've had to learn coming into a big operation like St. Francis Mission is. There's so many different departments and personnel, and so I've spent some of the time during the first 2 months going around getting to know people, finding out what they like about the mission, working here, what needs they have in their department, and what I can do to help them do their jobs well. And it's been, in some ways, the beginning of a new year. A lot of what happens here, we start a new fiscal year July 1st, but then with the academic year, it seems like people are finished with the summer and now it's ready to go full speed ahead with our programs. And so Sapa Un, our Catholic Academy, with students from kindergarten through 7th grade, has grown to about 40 students, which is our capacity right now. And so we're really looking seriously about how we might meet the needs of those students as we continue to grow. And so we're looking at plans to take part of our administration building, which originally was designed to have space for classrooms where our library now is, to expand that, to remodel it so that we can bring Sapa Un from the 2 trailer-like structures in which the classroom, dining room, kitchen, bathrooms, all of that is located there, to bring that over to the administration building. And so we're anticipating a move in the coming year to accommodate our growing students. The kindergarten class is the largest, and I find that the parents want their children to be in this kind of environment. So having never been to public schools, in many cases students come here fresh, and in other cases they've had difficult experiences in the public school system. Bullying has been a problem, and I've heard that some of our students have come here to basically find a safe, warm, supportive, loving environment. And that's what we provide, because we have such a close ratio of students and teachers, so that we've got teachers' aides and para teachers who can help keep track of the students so that no one is lost, and children are not unsupervised, where they can get into those activities that sometimes can be disrespectful of one another. We also, as we have begun this year with Sapa Un, our Catholic Academy, I've been making a point of going over there for lunch every day that I'm here at the mission. And I have to say that every time I leave lunch, I have almost a tear in my eye, because the kids are so good to one another. We scatter them around tables, not based on their grades, but to make sure that there's a good mixture of older kids and younger kids. And I remember the first day that I was there, which would have been maybe the second day that the students were there, the new students, and they were just beginning to learn the system of how we work together in that classroom, in that school. And so the little ones weren't sure how to take the food, and the older ones were helping them pour water and take food. And we really encourage healthy eating, and so they're told, even if they don't want to try something, they should take at least a leaf of lettuce or something to try, at least try it. And we're hoping to build healthy eating habits with them. But what really touches me every time I go there is how good they are to one another, and how the older ones help the younger ones. When our benefactors were here visiting, they observed the classrooms, and before lunch, each of the classes lines up, the children line up, and until they're absolutely quiet in a line, they don't go to lunch. And so they've learned very quickly, if we're going to have lunch, we need to be quiet. And I remember thinking, some of the benefactors were saying, well, this is almost like military, you know, where they're lined up in silence and now they're going to lunch. And discipline, I think, is a very important part of the lessons that they're learning at Sapa Un. Because in a situation like the one we're living in, where there's so much poverty and disorder and chaos, to bring that kind of order to a child's life early on, where they learn good lessons of order and discipline and a time for quiet, is really a lesson that I see being learned, and one that touches my heart. We had a beautiful meet and greet event where we have benefactors come in for a retreat, and they came. We began with prayer and a talk about having hope, especially in a place where perhaps people don't experience a lot of hope. And during the course of that weekend retreat, meet and greet, the program directors all spoke to the benefactors about what they do. And all of the benefactors who came, we had about 14 or 15, they were overwhelmed by the many things that we're doing here and touched by the people, by the stories that were told, people who are in recovery. One of the great stories that Geraldine Provincial told was about a man who was an artist and who was just getting out of prison. And in our family therapy program, we go into the prison and work with the prisoners. We counsel them, we provide Bibles for them and Bible study. In one of those programs, we used art therapy to try to bring some healing to the prisoners. And this prisoner was an artist who was afraid to pick up a pencil and sketch because he had the shakes from getting over his addictions and abuse of alcohol. Finally, he asked for a pencil and paper and started drawing, and he drew a very provocative and scary picture of what his life was like before recovery, and then another picture of what his hope was as he was preparing to leave jail and stay clean and sober. And just yesterday, Geraldine called him. He's out of prison now for about a week, and she called him to see how he was doing. And he was so grateful because he said, you're the only person who has called me to see how things are going. And that's the work of St. Francis Mission, is helping people in the crisis when they're in jail, but then following up with them. One of the things we've been told in the jail is that we're the only group that comes in not just once and then never comes back, but we keep coming back. And so we are Christ's presence in that jail, helping people know the love of God through the interest and concern that we show them. When our benefactors were here, we had our morning circle of prayer. So the children gather around the room and hold hands together, and then we pray together. We have the smudging ceremony in which sweetgrass or sage is brought around and the children purify themselves for the prayer. And then we go around the room and people offer a prayer. They may call to mind somebody that they're praying for, someone that they know that needs help, needs prayers. And then the prayer is a drumming song, and we pray the Our Father. But I think what really touched me, and I hadn't seen this yet, and it really touched our benefactors, was seeing the children recite the mission statement. The mission statement of this school, Sapa Un, is amazing. And the children who have been there, recite it like that. The new ones are beginning to learn it. And it's the kind of mission statement that you hope they will keep in mind, not just during the school day, but for the rest of their lives. A statement that says, I am important, I am somebody, and my future is important not only to me and to my family, but to my tribe, to the people that I have been placed into their lives. In other words, one of the great Lakota values that goes back to the days when the Lakota were on the plains and they had to hunt the buffalo and moved from place to place. It was very important for people to work together. Otherwise, you wouldn't survive. And so we're trying to instill that Lakota value, which is also very much a Catholic value, into the minds and hearts of the children. That you're here to get a good education so that you can get ahead in life and be productive and have a good income, but it's also for your people, for the tribe, that you can help them advance as well. And so as we come into the fall now, a beautiful season for us, I want to especially thank all of you. I know we'll be thanking our God and one another with a great holiday. And I want to make a personal thank you to all of you who have prayed with us and for us and have supported us in so many ways, because we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do, we wouldn't be able to touch the lives of the children at Sapa Un, the people in the jail, the many people that we serve in our parishes. We would not be able to do that without you. So a big thank you from my heart to yours for your help.